But now what we'll be doing is we'll be creating the flow from the database to the Angular to get the data that is in the inventory table to this table on the screen. So let's go to the database first. Over here we see that this is the table that we are trying to fetch the details for. Let me just create a procedure, and the name will be sp get inventory data. So after this, in this stored procedures, we simply have to add this select query, because we are only trying to get the data from this table and there is no other query that is required over here. I'll click on execute. It says commands completed successfully, that the SP is now successfully created in this database. We can also check it by going on to stored procedures. We have another SP over here, that is SP underscore get inventory data. Now we'll utilize it in the .NET code. So let's go to the Visual Studio and we can just take this code and create another API that is going to be a get API. Earlier one was HTTP post and this is HTTP get. Now what we are trying to do is get inventory data, and we don't want any parameters because we'll be selecting the data from the table without any filter also. So let me just zoom it a bit, and after this we'll also have to change the name of the SP. We'll take the name over here and use it on this command text. We can remove all of this code because we are not trying to pass any parameter to the stored procedure. Now what we are trying to do is we are trying to run the command that is going to be execute reader command, and what we can do is we could have a SQL data reader, give it a name, and using this SQL data reader we will be creating a object. So basically what we want to do is create a list of inventory DTO from this SQL data reader and return it as a result of this action. So let me create another model, because to avoid any confusion in the name I am creating another model, even though the same properties would be there in the new model as well that were there in inventory request DTO. So the name can be inventory DTO. I'm saving it. Take the properties from inventory request DTO only and just have it in this. So to avoid the confusion we have created a separate model, because if we want to add some properties in the class in one of the classes we could do it in future without modifying another class. So let me save this and use it over here. We are trying to create a list of inventory DTO, and when we are traversing through this particular loop I want to create a object as well that will be added to this list. Let me just give it the name response, and this would be added over here. So what we are trying to do is inventory DTO dot product ID, is equal to convert dot to int reader, that is SQL data reader, and the name of the column would be from here. So if we just run this query, we see over here that product ID is returned and product name, available quantity, reorder point. So what we want to do is give the name of this column in our code, because that is what this code is going to read. The whole table would be read in the code, and we want to just take the name of particular column in single line. So right now I'm binding the product ID, so I will give it the name. For each of the columns we have different name, so I'll give a separate name over here, product name. Then over here this would be toString, because product name is a string variable. If you see over here, the data type is string. Then we have available quantity, and then we have reorder point. Let me just match it, reorder point and available quantity. So yes, you have to make sure that the names of the columns that you are giving through the reader, they have to be the exact names that are there in the SQL, because otherwise the data would not be mapped from the SQL data table to your object. Otherwise it would create an issue. But if you give the exact name, then it's not going to be an issue and the code is going to work perfectly fine. So over here you see that IntelliSense is giving me the suggestion as well that we want to add the DTO into this list. So we'll just take the suggestion, and we have successfully added our DTO to the response. And now what we want to do is we simply want to use a JSON convert serialize object, and what we want to serialize is the response. So it will send the response, that is the list of inventory DTO, as a JSON now. And let me just save it, do a save all. We'll run the code again. We can build it also once. We're trying to rebuild the solution. So that there is no error in the code, that could be checked from here. If the rebuild is completed successfully, it says one succeeded, because we have only one project in the solution. So it means that our code is going to work fine syntactically. Logically it's going to work fine or not, we will be able to know once we execute it. So let me now just execute the solution. And the API, the get API that we added, we are seeing over here on the screen as well. It's added over here. And to verify if the DB to .NET Core Web API, all that connection is working fine or not, we just do a try it out from here and execute the API. It's not going to take any parameters, so you see that parameters is also mentioned over here, that we are not taking any parameters. And now we see the response body. This is a proper JSON that we are getting. We have two products. One was the product name earphones, and then second one was the drop down index that was added from the front end code from the Angular application. Both of those records that were there in the table we see over here, those are coming on the screen successfully over here in the response body. So this connection is successfully established. Now we just need to add the code in the Angular to get it on the front end application. So we'll go to the Visual Studio Code, and in this particular component inventory.component.ts, what we have to do is, whenever the component is initialized, on that point only we are trying to fetch the details. So over here we have to add a new function that is going to be ng-on-init. Once the function is getting initialized, what we want to do is we want to get some data right from the backend. So we already have the URL of inventory API. We can just make sure that the get API also has the same request URL. So over here we see that the request URL remains the same. If we are not passing any parameters, it would be a get call. So let's make the changes for get call using this HTTP client that we had used earlier. And this is going to be a get call. We don't need to pass any headers or the body. We just have to mention the URL. And over here we'll only need to have the response of this get method. So what we can do is just have the data and create a function around it. This data is going to be the response of this get method. Let me just add a new object that is going to be inventory details of type any. Now whatever is being returned from the API, from the get API, I want to just map it to this new object that I have created over here. Once this is done, what I want to do is utilize it on the HTML page. But before that, let me just do one thing. I'll do a console log of whatever is being returned from the API on the web Angular application. Let me just save the details. So let's go to the browser and just open the console window. We'll do a refresh of the page. And now we see over here that we are getting the response from the database on the web application as well. So whatever is being passed from the get method on the web API that we have created over here, we are successfully getting it on the front end as well. So that connection is successfully established. Now the main task is to just bind it to the table, because currently this is all static data. We just need to bind it to this particular table, and then we'll be getting the rows dynamically from the database and not from the static HTML template. So we'll go to the inventory.component.html file, and over here I'll just take this row and create a dynamic row over here. Then we'll comment the static data that we have. First, let us just create the static row. We have to use an ng for this. Let inventory of inventory details. So what is inventory details? It's this particular object that we have created on the component.ts file. I'll just paste it so that the exact name is matching over here. And in this inventory details, for each of the object, we have to bind the property name, the name that we are getting over here. So this is the product ID. So we'll just map it. And after this product ID, we can bind the product name as well. And then we have available quantity with a capital A. So you have to make sure that whatever property name you are giving, it is exactly matching with whatever data you are getting over here, because this is the response from the web API and it is there in your inventory details object. So let's go to this HTML file And yes, we have made the changes, binded whatever dynamically we are getting on the row. And how many rows will come? The number of rows that are there in the inventory details, the number of objects that are there, those many rows will come in the table of this tag that we have. So let's save the changes, but yes, first let's just comment out whatever static data that we had given earlier, commenting it out, and now saving the changes. Let's go to the page again. It should be reloaded. Yes, because just after saving the changes, we are able to see that the reload is done, and over here we are getting whatever we had saved in the table, that is successfully being fetched on the screen as well. This is all dynamic data. This is not the data that we had given in the HTML template. It's all dynamically being fetched from the table to the Angular application on the screen. So we have successfully established the get flow as well. I hope you have understood whatever we have covered till now.